We've bought each other £500 off-roaders.
And today we're gonna modify them.
Will bought me this big 4x4 Renault Scenic.
And Edwin bought me this front-wheel drive Rover Streetwise.
Today we've got £500 to modify them to prepare them for a tough off-road challenge in the next episode.
One of the first things I've bought is some tyres. These are crap on the road and they're even worse off-road. So I have bought some of these.
Whoa.
I mean, as you can probably see, I'm probably gonna have some issues with fitment, but look at that. Look at all the off-roading I'll be doing with those.
All four as well, right?
No, because I have saved myself some money because I've got a theory. I've only got 2 driven wheels. Why the hell does the back need them? A little lift maybe, but they're not driven, so I'm not wasting any more money. £160 for these two. So I've got £340 left to spend on whatever I want.
But before I could worry about that, I needed to get the wheels off, which proved more difficult than expected.
Who the f puts those things on? What are you made of?
Army drill instructors be like.
I hate you. Cool, I've just grated away an area here.
Cheese mark be like.
Right, whoever fitted these, can't put that in the video, but whatever.
Right, the first mod for the Scenic is a fire hydrant. No, this is a winch, and this is to save us both, because when we'll inevitably get stuck, I can pull them out, and when I inevitably get stuck, I can hook it to a tree or something. This is Amazon's finest. It is the Stealth Bomber. It has actually got Stealth Bomber on it, which means it's the coolest thing in the world. So this guy has got to go like that, and then we just go. No, unfortunately, what we need is to mount this guy, this is the mounting bracket, somewhere. Let's have a look, see how we're gonna mount this guy up.
In search of a solid mounting point, I started stripping down the front of the car so that I could get the Stealth Bomber fitted.
So while Edwin was doing that, I went and got my tyres fitted. Oh,
That's pretty cool.
look at that. Compared to the original,
Look at that.
now I've got to test fit them on the front and see how they fit. They won't, but we'll make them fit. Another mod I've got are these skis. No, these are sandboards or traction boards, or there's many words for them. They go under your wheels when you're stuck and you can just drive over things.
You got a set for me as well, right?
If I'm not stuck, you can use them.
Okay, perfect. Right, let's see how much of your car you need to cut up.
Need to get down. Ah. So now my tyre is literally down on the ground. It was off. I'm gonna probably need to cut lots of there and there. And that's before we're even on the ground.
But you're gonna do some spaces, right?
Thankfully, I have some spaces at home that might fit, so I'm gonna try them.
I've done some measuring up and I've spoken to Josh, who is master technician of bodgery. The only easy way of mounting this up is gonna be to go to the crash bar, which is not the nicest way of doing it, but we're gonna make it happen. These aren't actually the mounting plates, they're the bit for the eye where this guy goes through. But that's not gonna work for us, it just doesn't work. So instead, I'm gonna use this as our mounting plate. We're gonna flip it upside down, so the Stealth Bomber is going to fall out of the sky, but hey, so be it. We're gonna mount him here. But what that does require, a little bit of trimming.
I don't think that's all in a car.
Right, let's pull a car. Let's test it. Right, we're in simulation conditions. Will is stuck, of course. This car has a blown engine, so it shouldn't move very easily. Oh, it works.
Oh!
It is successful though, so I might maybe be able to pull you out, probably not.
Also, this car's, it's not stuck, is it? It's in neutral, it's on flat ground.
Gravel though, that's rocky terrain. On to other mods, I think.
So before we go any further with the mods, this is a quick reminder that if you're buying a used car, you should always run a car vertical check.
Every single day, hundreds of cars get crashed, just like this one. I did buy Will a written off car, but some of those crash cars get repaired and then put back on the road in an attempt to hide that history. With a car vertical report, you can find out that dodgy past.
All you have to do is enter your reg number or your VIN, and Car Vertical will tell you if that car has been crashed, clocked, or stolen.
Now this is the report for Will's Rover, and where we usually see 3 green ticks. As I said, this car's been written off. We've got a yellow tick for damage. Car Vertical has picked up the damage. When we click on it, scroll a little bit down, you can see that it was written off and is Cat N.
And here we have another crashed car. This Volkswagen Up has got a yellow marker for damage. And if we scroll down, we can see it looks like it smashed into the bottom of a lorry. And if we scroll through the photos, we've got another angle of the front end smash. And then if you get to the interior, we can see that the airbags have gone off as well. So if you see this car up for sale in pristine condition with a car vertical report, you can find out this shady past.
So if you're ever buying a car, van, motorbike, or for some reason a blue Rover, make sure that you run a car vertical check to make sure that the price you pay for the car matches its history.
And what's more, Car Vertical are offering you guys 20% off when you use code TDC. So I am fitting up my light bar. This was £58. I haven't tested it yet, but that looks like it is going to be like a new sun. Going off-road, you need a light bar.
In case the sun extinguishes while you're out there.
And then I'm on a rock somewhere, what am I going to do? Flick a switch, boom.
I now see the rock I'm stuck on. Now, Will, are you going to go through the process of fabricating up brackets to mount it to existing parts of the car?
This is the bracket that came with it. I put it there, and I made a dot just above a piece of bird shit. And then I'll drill a hole there, put that on that.
Drill a hole, sorry.
Yeah.
Just in the roof.
Well, yeah.
Fair.
So we put the drill batteries on charge overnight and came back the next morning ready to start engineering.
Oh, Will.
Now. It's on. All I've got to do is put the washers and tighten things up. And then I need to wire it.
But you have an idea for that, don't you?
Yes, because I already had lights that Edwin, in the last video, very kindly smashed off camera.
I didn't even mean to do it as well. I promise it wasn't deliberate.
This is all wired to a switch in the car. So all I'm going to do is extend this. It should just work.
Whilst Will finished off the wiring on his light bar, it was now my turn to show off my new tyres.
However, as usual, I've been an idiot because everyone said 215, 65, 16s are what you should do. So I went and bought 235, 70. These are off a Land Rover, I think it was Discovery 1, Insa Turbos, which other than general grabbers, salute, they're on everything. They're on every Defender, every Discovery. So I thought, stick them on the Scenic, but they are 235, 70, that are 215, 65. These might not go that happily on the car. Look at this little diddy wheel. I mean, it's actually got good tread and everything, but I'm gonna swap it out for something with worse tread, because I'm smart. Right, we're back. Tell me that doesn't look quite cool. Yeah, shut it, mate. Let's get one of these on and see what it looks like. A little 20mm spacer.
So it looks okay right now.
But once it goes down,
you're in the air.
it's nothing a little bit of a Dremel can't fix.
Once the wheels were on, it was time for the moment of truth.
Oh, that's okay. The front is close. The front might need some trimming. How's the back looking?
I tell you what, you're rubbing. You can cut that.
Yeah, look, that's a bit of trimming. What's a bit of trimming between friends?
Can we get a steering lock test?
We're gonna have to get a steering lock test. Should we take it outside? Oh, I heard that. Is it hitting the inside of the arch?
Yeah.
So I can't ever go full lock?
No.
When you say it's self-clearancing, you're not wrong. It's just pulling itself back out. I've got DIY widening fenders. That's cool.
One rock and you're done.
After confirming that my Scenic needed cutting up, I then moved on to installing my light bar, which also happened to be the cheapest one from Amazon. But whilst sorting that wiring, it gave me a chance to fix another big issue. In the last episode, my car overheated every time I came to a stop because the fan wasn't working, so I wired it permanently on. However, I wanted a switch to turn it on and off, as well as my light bar, which is where my next mod came in.
One of my favourite films is the Taxi franchise, and this is a French automobile. So I went out and I bought one of these. But I'm looking for a place to put it. I'm thinking up here could be quite cool, kind of fighter pilot-esque. I've noticed something very French when I go to take this out. It's a classic Frenchism.
While Edwin got to work on his new control panel, I attempted to secure my traction boards to my roof bars. Super.
Meanwhile, I'd gotten the control panel working. However, I soon realised that it had not quite gone as intended.
I flick on my light bar. So it's there, but it's just a bit quiet. If I go ahead and open my sunroof.
Here we go.
When I push the sunroof, it pulls then the rest of the voltage through to operate the sunroof motor. So if my sunroof is open, the light bar's on. If I want the light bar off, sunroof has to be closed. It's a very easy electrical mistake to fix, but this is quite a French electrical issue that I've given it. So I think I might have to keep it.
One of the problems with the Rover is that the brakes were appalling. They made this awful, awful juddering. Now, I don't really need the brakes at high speed, off-road, but you need to get to the off-road. So, new calipers for the front.
So this is going to be a quick, easy process, right?
Yes. Out comes the fluid. God, I love brake fluid on my hand.
That was clean work, Will. That was, I'd say, a healthy puddle.
I didn't want that brake fluid anyway. Look at the colour of it.
That's crazy to dip your finger in that. That is wild. I'll tell you what, mate, that's a new braking system I haven't heard of before.
It is done as well.
With Will's new calipers fitted, next up was a mod which looked like it had come straight from Pets at Home.
We did some wading before, right? The Rover was...
He's getting to its limit.
It was close. So I need a snorkel, running out of budget. I'll tell you what.
Is that going in there?
That's pretty in there. This pipe, it's not a snorkel pipe. It's just some form of... It's the cheapest ducting pipe I could find. It's going to need another hole in the bonnet. Goodbye, mate. One snorkel hole.
As the speed increases, the air filter will come up and get more airflow, and you'll go even faster. Other engineers should be scared.
What if it rains?
That's a good question. Will has some leftover pipe, so I'll never be someone to refuse pipe when it's going.
Stealth snorkel.
Stealth snorkel, the first of its kind.
You're telling me that that is better than coming in there and coming through that and going straight there?
But then this is cooling that pipe. Look at the stealth. I'm coming so nicely, Will. You're done for on those off-road trails.
My next mod is some wing mirrors from a motorbike.
I don't think we need any more explanation.
No. So I'm going to drill a hole in my bonnet and then fit them.
All will become clear.
All will become clear.
After drilling yet another hole in his bonnet, it became quite clear that Will had made a mistake.
I can just about see my current wing mirror. However, after drilling another hole, I managed to make it work, so I could finally reveal why I needed new mirrors. I'm going to take my doors off.
Huh?
I've seen things on the internet, pictures of Defenders, pictures of Jeeps and what such. Some of them don't have doors.
And that makes them better at off-roading.
Yes. Health and safety has been considered, looked online, apparently doesn't matter.
Because you've got wing mirrors.
I've now got wing mirrors. I don't even know if I needed those, but I just thought,
let's be safe.
there we go then, my door off. That is the heaviest thing I've ever taken off of a car.
Mate, sorry, you've left your keys in the door.
I looked at the key barrel.
Once Will had finished his door delete, it was then time to turn our attention back to my Scenic.
Right, one of the issues that we found yesterday is that my car can't turn at all. So I need to make some trimmings. What that does mean is I have to cut into the very rare RX4 bodywork. Again, if you're upset and you think I shouldn't do this car was for sale for 2 months before Will went and bought this. You had your chance.
Bro is playing Minecraft for real. Can we please get some sound effects?
Please.
If we can, please.
That'll do. What I will do though, to appease all of you who are upset by this. Now that is Facebook Marketplace ready. Fresh respray.
We let the smell of paint fade away overnight and came back the next morning for one final day of mods.
We're back, this time with Ben. So if you've been upset about the camera level of camera work, we're back.
If you haven't, then we're going to get rid of Ben. So,
What's going on today?
well, I've come in this morning and I was thinking about this overnight. I'm moving my mirrors.
Once again, drilling more holes in the Rover.
I'm going to go with here because that's quite close to where it was. But my worry is that side. Don't have doors anymore, so I'm just going to use the interior.
Look through there, you can almost see something out of that.
I can go absolutely anywhere I like. Right, where's the bloody drill?
However, after drilling yet another hole and slightly cracking his mirror, he changed his mind again.
I'm no longer going to go there because I couldn't see anything there either. So I'm going to use the door hinge.
Adjustable, infinitely adjustable.
They're basically in the exact same spot that the old ones were. That's crazy. And then, when I park on a tight street,
You've inspired me to do some more engineering on my car. I'm going to do the rest of my trimming and I'm going to do that drive shaft because this gearbox isn't happy and I'm hoping that might help it in some way. But first, now, this car will no longer rub. I could have avoided this by getting properly sized tyres. That wouldn't have looked as cool.
While I finished off my new arch design, Will got the glue out to put the finishing touch on his hamster tube snorkel.
I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
This is what manufacturers use for sealing, right?
Yeah, it's the cheapest stuff I found in B&Q.
Look at that go. Push the surfaces together immediately, pull apart, wait approximately 10 seconds, then push back together. And there you have it. Instant grip. That's tough to see, is what that is. That's tough to see.
After bodging the intake to an acceptable standard, my next job was to get my wheels fitted since I now had my spacers. I fitted the wheel and they were smashing up against my strut. So these spacers are going to bring that up by 25 mil. So they go on like such. That looks pretty good actually.
This is a big moment of truth.
I'm actually kind of nervous.
Oh, Will.
Tell you what.
Give it a spin for me, my son. Ooh! That is a chunky looking guy.
And what about the wheel?
Very nice, very funny.
Right, I'm going to go right.
Ooh, keep it going. Okay, now come back. Yeah, you need some cutting there. Okay, this side. Same as me.
While Will now took his turn at sawing his bodywork away, I started an actual repair on the Scenic.
My drive shaft has finally arrived, so we can remove the very weird clicky drive shaft on this side, but the thing that I'm more worried about is the pool of gearbox fluid that keeps leaking from under the car. It's also red, which implies that it's automatic transmission fluid that someone's put in a manual. This Scenic's days may be numbered, but it'll go out fighting, I'll tell you that. Not only was it clicking, but it's also pretty dead. Parts for this car are very, very hard to find. So luckily, someone on eBay stocks what they say is an RX4 drive shaft. So we're gonna see if it is. That doesn't look correct. That's not right. That drive shaft is absolutely incorrect. I've checked the part number on it. It doesn't even come back to a Renault. And by the time they send us the right one, this video will be out. The fixing of the drive shaft is gonna have to wait and happen off camera, and this car will be working in the next episode. But for now, put the old one back in.
Right, I think I'm happy with how this is, so I'm going to give it a test and see where the wheel sits.
Ooh. No, I think you need to lose your whole mud flap there. If self-clearance was what you were going for, you've done it.
So I will cut that mud flap away a bit more, and the other side, and then this is going to be done. Like done. Fin. I can't wait to see this outside. However, as I began to do said cutting, I made a classic Rover discovery. And look at my arches.
Oh no.
He needs to go back on, because otherwise, is it even a Streetwise?
Exactly. What makes a Streetwise a Streetwise?
After swiftly covering up my newly discovered rust using aerospace grade hardware, I was ready for another clearance test.
Which the Rover passed with flying colours.
Go for it, Will. Oh, miles of room on the front.
So after Will finished the other side, it was finally time to see our cheap modified off-roaders out in the daylight.
That's it, that's our mods. There might be some more mods before the next episode, you know, that maybe my bumper comes in and maybe my drive shaft does too.
I'm actually extremely happy with this. Apart from the lift, a little bit of a lift from my tyres, but other than that, I'm actually scraping on this grass. But I mean, how cool does this look?
You've built a Baja Rover, a Rover.
No doors, I've got a jerry can in there, I've got my sandboards, got the all-important light. We're actually shooting at night at the moment.
Yeah, this is just lit up.
Yeah, so we've just lit it up like this.
It's reflecting off the sun and coming back. Same for me. I went big on my winch. That's my big mod. My light bar, of course, with my switch panel. I've got my 90-pound tyres. They're going to put in work for me, I can only hope. And that's about it. It doesn't take much to turn these into the ultimate off-roaders.
Right, they look the part, but in the next episode, we're going to take them proper off-roading. Not just a couple of puddles, I mean proper green laning off-roading. If you want to see where we bought these cars, you can see that here, and we'll see you next time.
Right, I'm going to tug you off with this winch. Ooh.